I'm sorry. You said it again. But this time, you weren't wrong. They were. Still, somehow, it felt easier, safer, to just take the blame, even when every part of you whispered, "But I didn't do anything wrong." Why do we do this? Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me tell you a story. Meet Alex. He's 32, works in tech, empathetic, intelligent, quiet. He's also someone who apologizes a lot. At a team meeting last week, his colleague forgot to prepare a crucial report. Guess who apologized first? Alex. Not the person who forgot. Not the manager. Alex. Later that day, he messaged his friend, "Sorry if I was awkward at lunch." He wasn't. He was just being himself. Like, comment, and subscribe. And this isn't a one-off. Alex says sorry when he speaks up, when he doesn't, when someone's late, when someone else is upset. He has no criminal record, but he lives like he's always on trial. Why? This isn't about manners. It's deeper. Over-apologizing is often a trauma response, a survival strategy, especially when fawning becomes your coping style. Fawn equals I keep the peace at all costs, even if that means betraying myself. This habit often begins in childhood. If you were raised in a home where mistakes were punished, or your feelings were invalidated, or conflict meant emotional withdrawal, then you may have learned, if I'm not the problem, I'll become the problem. Better to apologize first, so you don't get hurt later. Neurologically, your brain wires apology as prevention, a shield. Each sorry triggers a hit of relief, temporary calm, safety, but it's also tied to low self-esteem. Researchers at the University of Waterloo found that people with low self-worth apologized more, even when not at fault, because at some level, they believe, if something goes wrong, I must have caused it. For people like Alex, sorry isn't a word. It's a lifestyle. In meetings, they apologize before speaking. In relationships, they apologize for having needs. In friendships, they apologize for taking space. Eventually, the world sees you how you present yourself. If you act like you're always wrong, people treat you that way. Worse, you start believing it. Sometimes, the habit isn't yours alone. Others train you to apologize. Through gaslighting, twisting reality so you think you're always wrong. Passive aggression, making you feel guilty for being assertive. Guilt tripping, making their emotions your responsibility. Over time, you adopt this belief. If someone's upset, I must have done something. So you say sorry, not because you're wrong, but because you've been conditioned to be wrong by default. You need to remember this. You can acknowledge someone's pain without taking the blame. You can validate emotions without assuming guilt. You can hold space without shrinking yourself. Try this instead of sorry. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate your understanding. I hear you. Let's talk about this. Replace guilt with clarity. Apologies should mean something, but when overused, they become meaningless. Alex's story isn't unique. Many people, especially those with anxious attachment styles, highly sensitive individuals, and trauma survivors, walk through life apologizing for simply existing. But here's the truth. You deserve space. You deserve a voice. You are allowed to be misunderstood without guilt. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your peace. If you resonate with this, here's your challenge today. Catch yourself. The next time you feel that urge to say, "I'm sorry," pause. Ask yourself, did I really do something wrong? Or am I just afraid of not being liked? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be agreeable. You just need to be real. And real people don't apologize for being human. The sorry reflex isn't just a personal quirk. It's a complex interplay of psychological, social, and sometimes cultural factors. People-pleasing and the fawn response. One of the 4 trauma responses alongside fight, flight, and freeze often underlie this behavior. When faced with stress or perceived threat, some individuals instinctively try to appease others, even at their own expense. This pattern frequently stems from childhood conditioning. If you grew up in an environment where conflict was scary, where your emotions were dismissed, or where love felt conditional, like, comment, and subscribe. You might have learned that apologizing was the safest way to navigate the world. Low self-worth and poor boundaries go hand in hand with over-apologizing. When you don't value yourself, it's easy to assume you're always at fault. And when your boundaries are weak, You might apologize for having needs or taking up space. Emotional abuse and gaslighting can exacerbate this tendency. If you've been in relationships where your reality was constantly questioned or where you were made to feel responsible for others' emotions, apologizing might feel like your default mode. Fear of abandonment or rejection often lurks beneath excessive apologies. By constantly saying sorry, you might be unconsciously trying to ensure that people won't leave you. Social conditioning plays a role too, especially for women. Many cultures reward girls and women for being nice, which can translate into excessive apologizing in adulthood. This sorry reflex can also be a form of avoidance. By apologizing preemptively, you might be trying to sidestep potential conflict or criticism. It's a false form of peacekeeping that ultimately erodes your self-esteem. Internalized guilt is another factor. If you've been made to feel responsible for things beyond your control, you might carry a constant sense of guilt that manifests as frequent apologies. Breaking this habit isn't just about changing your words. It's about rewiring your beliefs about yourself and your place in the world. Start by becoming aware. Notice when you apologize and why. Is it truly warranted, or is it a reflex? Practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that you're human, and humans aren't perfect. You're allowed to make mistakes without excessive self-flagellation. Reframe your language. Instead of "sorry I'm late," try "thank you for waiting." Instead of "sorry to bother you," say "I appreciate your time." Set and maintain boundaries. Remember, you have the right to have needs, opinions, and feelings without apologizing for them. Seek support if needed. A therapist can help you unpack the root causes of your over-apologizing and develop healthier patterns. Remember, the goal isn't to never apologize. Genuine apologies are important for maintaining relationships and personal growth. The aim is to apologize when it's truly warranted, not as a reflexive way of navigating the world. Your worth isn't determined by how agreeable or apologetic you are. It's inherent. You don't need to earn the right to exist, to have opinions, or to take up space. So the next time you feel that sorry bubbling up, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself if an apology is truly needed. And if it's not, give yourself permission to simply be. You're not on trial. You're not a problem to be solved. You're a human being, navigating a complex world as best you can. And that's nothing to apologize for. Like, comment, and subscribe.